Hello friends and welcome back to AV English channel with Avita ma'am. Dear friends, come with me to learn what is a phrase, what is a sentence, as well as we will discuss today similarities and differences between both this concept, phrases and sentences. Dear friends, come and join to me to clear this concept. Very good. Dear friends, first we will revise word, about word, which we already discussed in our previous video. Then what is word? Word is a meaningful unit of alphabets or letters that are consonant and vowel is called word. For example, kite, children, fly, park. These all are meaningful words. A sentence is framed by such a type of group of words. Okay, we will take these words and frame one sentence. Look at here. We will read this group of words. Okay, the, in, park, children, kite, fly. Look at this group of words. We can call it as sentence? No. Okay. We cannot say it as a sentence. But if we arrange them in a proper order. Now read this sentence. Children fly kites in the park. We can say it as sentence? Yes. This is a right sentence. This is the proper order and the structure of the sentence. Okay. Let's now talk about sentence. What is sentence? Sentence is a group of words that makes complete sense. It means a group of words which gives us complete idea, which express complete thought. It is called sentence. For example, I like to read storybook. My sister is a good singer. Look at that, my sister, how she is good singer. These both statements or sentences makes us complete sense. That means we can understand what someone want to tell us. Let's now talk about the rules of the sentences, how these sentences get framed. First rule, it must have words placed in correct order. What is the correct order or the structure of sentence? That is subject plus verb plus object. In the first sentence, I is the subject, like is the verb, and to read storybook, these are the object of the sentence. And in the second sentence, my sister is the subject, is the verb, and good singer is the object of the sentence. Second rule, sentence always begin with the capital letter. Means first letter of the first word should be capital in the sentence. In both the above examples, I and am of my word, which are the first letter of these sentences are in a uppercase. That means in a capital letters. One more thing let me clear here, that I is the personal pronouns which are always right in a capital letter no matter wherever that place in the sentence. Okay, let's move to the third point. That sentence ends with a full stop, a question mark or an exclamatory mark. How that? If a sentence is simple statement, that if that sentence are assertive or imperative kind of sentences that ends with a full stop. Here above these both examples are assertive kind of sentences that are the simple statement. When we use question mark, if a statement or a sentence that asks the question, that time that statement or sentence ends with a question mark. Like if I give example, what is your name, how are you? These are types of interrogative kind of sentences ends with a question mark. And when we use exclamatory mark, if a sentence express sudden feeling, strong feelings, then what a wonderful story. How beautiful is her singing. Such exclamatory sentences ends with a exclamation mark. Next rule, it must have verb in it. Without a finite verb, sentence cannot be complete. In above given examples, like and is are the verbs. In these sentences, like and is are the finite verb which change as per the person or as per the tense of the sentence. And last rule, it contains subject and the predicate. A sentence must have at least one subject and one predicate. What is mean by subject? Subject means a noun or pronouns about whom a sentence is talk. And predicate means what? Predicate is about noun or pronoun what the sentence is talk. If we ask the question to the sentence who or whom, then we will get the subject part of the sentence. And if we ask the question what, then we will get the predicate part of the sentence. In the above examples, I and my sister, these are the subject, and the predicate, that to like to read storybook and is a good singer. These are the predicate of these sentences. Subject always come in the front part of the sentence. Like here, I and my sister. These words are come on the first place. These noun or pronouns are come on the first place or the front place of the sentence. And whatever the remaining, excluding subject, whatever the remaining part of the sentence, that is the predicate part of the sentence. Now turn to phrase. What is phrase? A phrase is a group of words does not make a complete sense and it does not have subject verb combination. Dear friends, here we observe that one similarity between both these concepts, that is phrases and sentences, both are framed by a group of words. But here are differences also. Like a sentence makes a complete sense, but phrase does not make a complete sense. And one more difference is that a sentence has a subject verb combination. We learn about the structure of sentence, that subject plus verb plus object, but phrase does not have subject verb combination. For example, under a tree, my father and mother, on the table, to read storybook, a good singer, scheduled at 9 p.m. in the early morning, playing outside. All such types of group of words are called phrases. Let's now learn more about phrases. A phrase makes sense but does not convey complete sense. What is mean by that? As like sentence, phrase is also a group of words, but phrase does not make a complete sense. Just now we learnt about that. That phrase does not express complete thought. We get sense but not complete sense. A phrase cannot stand by its own. A phrase cannot stand by its own. It needs the help of other words for its completeness. If we see all these examples, one question arises in our mind, that is what? What under a tree? What is on the table? What about good singers? What happens in the morning? But when we use these phrases in sentences, then we get clear with its meaning. When we use these phrases in sentences, then that time we will get clear idea about these phrases. Okay, if we use these phrases in sentences like this, I just use that phrases in the sentences. Just listen. There is a small hut under a tree. Then you get that under a tree. What is that? There is a small hut. Okay. My father and mother are very kind. If I say only my father and mother, what about my father and mother? Then if I add that they are very kind, my father and mother are very kind, then you get the complete sense about my father and mother phrase. A book is lying on the table. On the table, what is lying on the table? You're not getting what about on the table. Then a book lying on the table. I like to read story book. My sister is singer. My sister is good singer, and so on. When this group of words means phrases become a part of sentence, then that time that phrases get its meaning. Let's move to the next point. A phrase may not contain a subject and a finite verb or both. If you observe the above examples, phrase may not contain a subject and a finite verb or both. Okay, means either it contains subject or verb. Means sometimes it has subject or sometimes it has verb, or it may not contain both at the same time. Here one example, that is my father and mother. It contains only subject, verb is missing here. And another example like scheduled at 9 p.m. it contains only verb but subject is missing here. One more point is remain to discuss here, that is that a phrase sometimes it has non-finite verb. Non-finite verbs are those verbs which are not changed as per the person or the tense of the sentence. Non-finite verbs are of three types: infinitives, participles and gerund. Now we discuss these three types of non-finite verb with the help of examples. Just see the example. To read storybook. Here to read is infinitives. Okay, main verb which follow to. Here in this phrase, read is the main verb that comes with the to, and that not change as per the person or as per the tense of the sentence. If I say like this, I like to read storybook. Okay. One more example. She likes to read storybook. Here to read remains the same. So to read is the non-finite verb. Second, participles. Second type of non-finite verb is participles. Present participles that are ing form of verbs, and past participle verbs that ends with ed or nt, including irregular verbs. We can see schedule at 9 p.m. playing outside. Here in these examples, schedule and playing, these are the non-finite verbs. Schedule is the past participle, that is the V3 form of verb, and playing is the present participle verb, and that come after the linking verb. These both present and past participle form of verb, that are the non-finite verbs that are not changed as per the person or as per the tense of the sentence. If I use these phrases in sentences like the flight has scheduled at 9 p.m. The flight has scheduled at 9 p.m. The flights have or had scheduled at 9 p.m. Another example, I am playing outside. Playing outside, this phrase I use in sentence like this, I am playing outside. If I change the subject, they. If I change the tense, are or where, if I take, they are playing outside, they were playing outside. Here scheduled and the playing, they have no effect. They remains same. They not change as per the person or as per the tense of the sentence. These are participles. These are the non-finite verbs in these phrases. Third type of non-finite verb is gerund. I take the same example in other way. If we say playing outside is dangerous during this COVID-19, then here playing seems as a verb but it functioning as noun. It work as noun here. Playing outside, this phrase work as a noun in this sentence. Here playing ing form of verb work as a noun, and this is the gerund form of a non-finite verb. Sometimes these types of non-finite verbs may be used in phrases. Let's learn further about phrases. A phrase is a part of a clause or a sentence. It can be found at the beginning, middle, or the end of a sentence. Just look at the examples. For example, these are two beautiful roses which are of yellow color. I like to fly a kite. She studied for 2 hours yesterday. I have a green sporty car. That studious girl is from my class. In these examples, blue color underlined group of words are the phrases. Let's now point with the help of these examples. A phrase is a part of clause or sentence. Just look at the first example. These are two beautiful roses which are of yellow color. This is a sentence which contains two clauses. First, these are two beautiful roses, and second is which are of yellow color. These are two beautiful roses. This we can say a complete sentence or independent clause because it gives us complete sense, complete idea. And one more, that is which are of yellow color. This is a dependent clause. Without first clause, it is incomplete. Two beautiful roses and of yellow color, these are phrases and they are the part of these two clauses. Like in other examples, look the examples: to fly kite for 2 hours, a green sporty car, that studious girl. These are phrases and they are the part of sentences. These phrases not stand by alone. When they use it in sentences, then they get its meaning. Next, another point is that phrases can be found at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. As per examples given below, two beautiful roses for 2 hours, these phrases occupy the middle place in the sentences. Then another, of yellow color, to fly kite, a green sporty car, these phrases come at the end of the sentences, and that studious girl occupies the place of beginning in the sentence. So my lovely friends, I hope you understand the topic phrases and sentences more clear. In this topic we learnt about definition, rules with examples of phrases and sentences, as well as similarities and differences in both these concepts. Now this is time to say bye. Okay, if you enjoy this video, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe our AV English channel. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye.